Good morning everyone and welcome back to Craft Eccentricity. I hope you all had a fabulous weekend, and yes, you've guessed it, I've been playing with more bags of bits, so I'm just going to go straight into it and show you. Once I've finished that, I will pause briefly to put some different stuff onto the table, and then I'll give that quick demonstration on how I apply UV resin, and that's for those who requested it last week after seeing the video on the little gingerbread house ornaments. So first up is a bag of bits. Not such a bag of bits, because I did use a lot of white cardstock for this one. This is one of those that if you like journaling or colouring and getting your pens out, that's a perfect one for you. And another bag of bits and another bag of bits, and you can see this one's a dragon, but there are bits there. So I'm going to measure everything fully made up. And I also used some new crystals that I got. See if we can get close-ups today. It's still a bit grey outside. Sun doesn't really come up until, you know, about 10 o'clock in the morning. These are really, really pretty, and I think they were 50 cents and free shipping. So I will put a link below, and these are real crystals. They're glass, they're not plastic. But you get lots of them, and they're super, super pretty. I might even put some on my fingernails. So I got those and I used those today. So first up is something that will make you smile. It's my girl, and she has a squirrel on her head. And I thought an appropriate stamp for this was, when was the last time you did something for the very first time? So that's one to make whoever gets this stop and think for a little while. And this would just be great pasted down onto a journal page, where the person who gets the happy mail can do some more stamping and some more colouring if they want to. But I just think she's really sweet. Now, I did shorten her legs for this because she stands with the squirrel on her head 6.5 inches high. And I took an inch off, well, maybe more than an inch off her legs, so that she fitted onto this 5-inch length of card here. So I don't really need to measure her. You can already tell that she's large, but she still does look in very good proportion when you shorten her legs. But I just think she's so sweet in her little red cape, and very reminiscent of Little Red Riding Hood. All the cardstock here is the coloured cardstock that I got from Joann, and I just used my AliExpress Touch 5 alcohol markers to colour the cardstock, and I used white paint there to highlight the parts on the cape and on the squirrel. This grid cardstock here, I call it schoolbook paper, is from Tuesday Morning, and then the craft stock behind is from Michael. So that's my first one. I'll pop her there so that you can see her. My second bag of bits created this, and I just think that she is absolutely gorgeous. I cut the wings 3 times and layered them up so that she looks like she's just hanging on to all those leaves, and she's just flying in and saying, "Happy fall, y'all." All of those leaves there scattered across the background. And this one I'm going to give to my neighbour, because she always decorates her yard really, really beautifully for autumn. So this one is going to go into her mailbox, and I will measure this. But the expression on her face, you can hear her yelling it. So from wing to wing is just over 4.25 inches. Nope, 4.25 inches, the way I positioned it. And I did do them as if they were wings coming from her back, rather than wings where she's got them on her arm, if you look at the image on the website. And then from the depth point of legs to top of wings is 2 3/4 inches. And then the happy foil, I just printed that out on my printer, and I used a little bit of black soot distress ink around that and just cropped the whole thing with my guillotine. The square that she sits on is distress ink. It's tumbled glass and hickory smoke, and I used my in-out square stitch die, which if I can dig out of my pile of dies here, is what I used for the background, and that's that one. So that's my second card. My third card is absolutely one for those of you who like to use your pens, and it's this little girl. I die cut her completely in white and used my AliExpress markers to colour her in, and I used a fine line black marker that you get free in the very large sets of AliExpress Touch 5 markers. I used an old stamp from my stash for the words and for the heart and just roughly coloured those in. But let's see if we can get a close-up here. Look. She's got a little swirly lollipop in her bag. Got the little roses on the dress. And I just traced around everything with a fine liner. Put her eyelashes on there. And drew around the bow on her hair and even her hair. And she is very much journal in style. But I just think she's absolutely gorgeous. And you can just do your own thing with her. So that is my third one. And for my fourth one, I went absolutely pink and absolutely sparkly. And here's my pink dragon. Who says dragons can't be pink? Of course they can. Mine is pink and gold. So I've done all the gold accents. There are those little gems there. If we can get in close, there they are. And I just dotted them at the tops of the wings and down the throat. All of these little bits are in the die so that they cut out and piece on. And then you can see these little shiny spots that I've done here. That is glossy accents, and the eye is also glossy accents, as is the one receding there. Happy birthday printed off on my printer once again, and I just used some cloud dies from my stash and cut that out. Background cardstock there is from Tuesday morning, but I think that is gorgeous. I mean, not only in pink as a birthday card, but it could also be for breast cancer, to tell your friend or somebody that you know to be brave and to be fierce if that is something that they are going through. So this is a wonderful dual use, and also of course in other colours it's excellent for boys as well. And anybody, of course, who likes Game of Thrones. So that is my fourth make from the weekend. And I'm going to measure him, her. And I'm also going to measure that girl that I put down. So that is 4 3/4 inches wide. And then at the highest point with the little horns on the head is just under 3 3/4 inches. So she is a lovely size. And the little girl that I made up here, once made up, is, you have to excuse my throat, it's very croaky today, 4.5 inches by, let's see, with the hair there, 3 inches wide. So those are the dimensions of what I made. As usual, all links will be below for these. I'm now going to pause briefly while I put my resin stuff onto the table. Okay, I'm back and I have put all of the stuff onto the table, and I'm going to show you what I'm going to use. First of all, my lamp. I have got it plugged in here. It is horseshoe shaped, so that you can basically just pick it up and place it over your project. It's a, let's get a close up. It's a 36 watts quick dry lamp. You get a 60-second and a 120-second timer or you get a timer where you can leave it on for a very long time. These are extremely cheap, and I think this one was less than $5 with free shipping, and you plug it into your laptop, or you can get a different cord where it will have an adapter and plug into your mains. So this is the lamp that I use. I reckon it's probably 10 inches across at its widest points, and maybe 8 inches across on the inside, just to give you a sort of guesstimate at the size of projects you can put in there. It is of course meant for UV nail polish, but I use it for my UV resin. So I use UV resin, and this is resin hard. It comes in a black bottle with a blue electric blue floral label, and I will link this as well. And I keep it wrapped in silver foil because if you get sunshine on it, it will set. So if you don't have a lamp but you have good sunshine, it will set in the sun. It probably takes about, depending on the brightness, anything from 5 minutes to half an hour. So always keep it wrapped in foil. My next thing is my pipette, which I get from AliExpress. I'll also link those, and my brush, which I also keep wrapped in foil. Let's make sure that I can show everything on camera here. And there is usually some left in the pipette and some left on the brush, so I can use whatever scraps are left in there. But I do, as I say, keep everything in foil, because once you get sun on there, it sets. Okay. My glitter, I'm using Distress Stickles dry glitter today. I'll use this one because this one is readily available. I usually use the Moxie clear glitter, which you get from Tuesday Morning, for about $4 for a huge jar. But not everyone has a Tuesday Morning, but they can get this one, so I'll use this one today. And I'm going to use the blank that I showed you last week, and this has already been coloured with gingerbread colours of Touch 5 markers. So here goes. I've got my brush and my pipette already wrapped up in the foil here, and I think that there is enough in here that if I just let it run down for a minute, I'm going to be able to squeeze some out so that you can see just how much I'm going to use for this. You don't need to use much in the beginning, and I don't want this to take an awful long time, because I know there's a lot of people out there who don't like very long videos. So I would say that's probably about 1/4 teaspoon that I've got on there. I'm covering that up, and I'm going to brush it in. Now this brush is old, and as you can see, it's scruffy, but it's clean. It's really important that it be clean, otherwise you'll just be brushing bits around in your resin. So, and also of course the silicone mat that I'm using underneath this. These are great project size mats, and they are about $1 each from AliExpress. So I can also link those below for you if you want me to. Right, as you can see, I have completely brushed that resin on there. I'm going to pick it up so that you can see it. There it is. It's now all shiny. Don't worry about it on your hands because it does wipe and wash off. Now I'm just going to pause for a second while I grab some kitchen roll. Okay, that's all off my hands, and now all I need to do is move my lamp over my project, and I'm going to set it for 60 seconds. Make sure that you have moved your resin away from the lamp and your brush. If you still have the package open, just move it into a place where switching the lamp on is not going to set it on you. So I'm going to go for 60 seconds. And I'll be back. Okay, it's been 60 seconds, and as you can see, my piece here is all shiny, and that is all set. Now I'm going to go for my second coat, which is another thin coat. So I'm only going to need to squeeze just a couple of drops on there just enough that it accepts the glitter. You can see how much is down on there. And I'm going to brush that over again. I'm going to cover the whole thing so that you can see how the glitter goes on there, and it does set. Of course, on my ornaments last week, I put felt on the back, so I don't need to resin the back of the piece. You can do that and use your markers on the back again so that you're finished on all sides rather than using felt if you wish to. And now I've got my glitter. I'm going to take a good pinch. Yes, I do use my fingers. Make sure that you wash your hands when you use glitter. Don't put your fingers in your eyes. I've done that and it's extremely painful. I do the same thing as well in the kitchen when I'm using chili peppers. I forget that I've just handled them and then I go and touch my eyes. So you just pile your glitter on like this until you get that sugar effect that you want. It's actually soaking into the resin so that you get a sort of slight wet glittery look. Now this looks patchy at the moment, but I'm going to pop it all over there. You can shake off any excess, and if you'd have done it on a piece of paper, you could have, of course, put the excess back into your jar. So I'm being wasteful and naughty. So here we go. So that is, I think, well sugared. And I'm just going to run it around so that you can see it evenly on the surface there. And I'm going to pop some back in places that I missed. Tap that down. And you can see that that's all very well sugared in its glitter. And now I'm going to pop it back under the lamp for 120 seconds and I'll be back when that is done. Okay, so it's spent 120 seconds under the lamp and I just quickly tidied up, and this is what you have. It is now permanent. This one is a well sugared one. So I hope that was useful to you. You can of course use washi tape and you can mask off areas and glitter into areas. So if sort of like creating patterns and things is something that you enjoy, then you'll enjoy that. So I hope that was useful. Everybody have a wonderful day. Oh, and a happy Monday. As usual, all links below, and I will see you tomorrow. Bye.